Now that we've made the sun almost set, or I guess just about rise, if we follow the logic of the last video, things are a little bit dark. Luckily, in Unity, we can add our own custom, smaller scale lighting sources. So we're going to explore a few of them here just really briefly. For the most part, I'm going to let you tweak and figure these out in a little more detail yourself. Under light, when we right click on creation of an object in our scene, I can create well, first of all, directional light is what we already have. If we create multiple of them, we have multiple suns for Star Wars fans. We're not going to do that right now because all it's going to do is really kind of nullify the whole sunset thing because I'll have another sun in the sky. So I'll get rid of that. I can create a point light. And what is a point light going to do? Well, this is just a single point. The purpose of these lights is, let's say you have like a light bulb in a room that you want to just be glowing as like a single point. Notice that next to this material, I see that bit of light reflecting off of it here. It's like a little small light bulb. I can actually change the intensity to make it glow more brightly, but it's still just from that singular point. And we can kind of see the effect this is having by hitting run and seeing how it just like illuminates and then it goes away. So it just kind of like under that little light source, the light underneath it, or the object close to it, kind of sees the light shining. So maybe you think of a use case for that. Or we can use a spotlight. This does kind of what it says. I'm going to line this up with somewhere a little further down the path. I'm just going to get a top-down view and see this looks pretty good. Notice that this little cone that sticks out from it shows both the range, well, I guess mostly just the range of the light itself, and I guess also the spread or the radius at the end point and how it kind of grows over time. Under our settings over here, the range, what if I crank this up to 100? Well, suddenly it's actually shooting really far down and I see just the part that hits that object along the way. Maybe I'll bring this back to 50 and I'm going to increase the intensity to 5. So now I have the spotlight. That's actually just shining that light like a flashlight would be, spotlight would be, and as the object rolls underneath it, it is illuminated by that light briefly and it moves on. Awesome. On to the next one. We're going to go under area light. This is kind of like the point light, except that it's meant to affect a much larger area by definition. So let's pull this over. I'm going to drag this down to close to the ground here. And this is kind of used to kind of provide customized atmosphere and tone to an area. Where let's say that I want this to kind of have a sense that there's, I don't know, something shining nearby or reflecting on it. And just to have like some video game style illumination that might even not have a source, but the player probably doesn't care, just to give it some more lighting. So I can actually change the width and the height to make this larger, and I can already see that light growing. And just to make it a little bit brighter, I'm going to change this to be much more intense. Actually, that's really intense. Let's change it to a 3. And now I have a nice little patch of light where that ball will move into, and it's not being shone from somewhere, it's just kind of emitting from its own region. So we won't be able to see it hitting on the top, but underneath, if we looked under it, we'd see that light reflecting off the bottom of the ball. And the final light tools, we're not going to talk about right now, reflection probe and light probe group. This is meant for grouping multiple lights into a system. The reflection probe, if you're curious about how to make some reflective material, for example, making our ball itself be able to reflect its entire environment, we're going to have to change its material as well as add a probe to determine what exactly it's reflecting. Because otherwise, if we try to reflect everything in the scene, that's going to be extremely inefficient on our processor. So we have to define a limited area that it's going to look at for reflecting. But that's too advanced for us right now. You're welcome to poke around with it if you're curious. Add some lights to your world.